to TLC, where we dive into the heart of our local community. It's wineries, restaurants, business, real estate, and farmers markets. I'm Troy Anderson, your host, along with Pamela, my co-host, and we're here to bring you a new perspective on what's happening in our community. This week, we have a guest of the show, a very special guest, Torrey Edwards. She's the president of the Northshore Farmers Market.
Hello.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, this is going to be a good one. Normally we do Sipping on Success where we open something local, a wine, some other beverage. But today, very special. Torrey has brought some delights in with her from the farmers market. So we're going to get to try those on air. We're going to talk about what those are, some flavors that we're experiencing with that. So is this still the same experience as though it was wine, but it's food? And
We always talked about having food on the show.
We did, and we rarely do it. I mean, it makes for an interesting, kind of chat because we're, eating and talking at the same time, which is something my mother said never to do.
Right.
But you know what? It's okay.
We can take turns.
We can take turns, absolutely. All right, so
the people that might not know, the North Shore Farmers Markets is Woodinville, which is on Saturdays through September. From 10 to 2, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then the newly established Kenmore Farmers Market is on Wednesdays.
Yes. 3 to 7 p.m.
3 to 7, okay.
Okay. All right, shall we tuck in? Tori, why don't you tell us what you've brought for us? Because I had a question when she walked through the door. I was like, what is that? So, okay, tell us what delights we have.
So I've brought a little picnic for us. So we are starting with some berries. We've got strawberries from Cabrera Farms. They're new to us this season. They have various organic fruit and vegetables in Skagit Valley. They're usually upstairs at the market. Try to make a point of letting people know we have the 2 levels. And then we also have tayberries from Hayton Farms Berries. And so those are actually a cross between raspberries and blackberries.
That was my
gonna
question.
ask about
I
those.
know, that was my question when she walked in. It's like, I've never heard of that. What is it? But I'm excited to try. Okay.
And then we also have some kefir yogurt from Creme de Lis, which is pistachio flavored. They have a variety of flavors. And then we have macarons from Julienne and Juliette, and we each got to pick one. It's always exciting. So we have different flavors.
Mine's got sparkles.
She's got the bling.
I do.
And then we have a glazed lemon loaf from Tarte by Heritage. And that's it for today. I, didn't want to bring the entire market with me. Although I did want to bring the entire market with me.
She brought some wonderful flowers for those of us watching on video.
Absolutely. Can you tell us where the flowers are from? I mean, they make such a statement sitting on our table. Anybody takes that home, puts it in their house, would just be joyful. It's beautiful.
Yeah, so these ones are from Ballor. We also have Chow Valley, so we have florists kind of bookending the market. So either way you come in, that's the first thing you're greeted by.
And that's nice.
I love it. I love it. There's nothing better than fresh flowers in your home. I think it's just such a lovely thing to have. So.
And I got some, Wednesday I think it was the first market in Kenmore. They lasted 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that was
I know I haven't had a chance to trim in fresh water these guys, but they're still glorious.
Yeah.
They're beautiful. Sunflowers in there. Looks like, is that peonies?
Mm-hmm.
And
one of my favorites.
Orange kind of tiger lilies. Beautiful. Anyway, on to the food because I'm super excited. So I think we should just go one by one. I'll talk a little while you guys try. So Troy already has a strawberry speared. He's excited to try it. One of my favorite, you go ahead, Troy. One of my favorite fruits. I used to be allergic to them and I ate them so much that I got myself out of it.
Really?
Yeah, I used to, when I was a kid, I would eat strawberries and I would get a itchy neck, a rashy neck. But I was determined. So yeah.
But I was going to say, I've enjoyed all of these already at my home throughout the week. So you should go ahead and I can tell you a little bit more about each of the vendors as well.
Okay, so tell us about the strawberry vendor to start with.
Yeah, so we mentioned Cabrera. That's the strawberries. The ones from Skagit Valley upstairs. The tayberries are from Hayton Farms. They're also Skagit Valley, but they have been around since 1876.
Oh, wow.
So we've got this kind of, the old and the new going on there. The Creme de Lis is usually upstairs. They're new to us this season. And Tarte by Heritage, who did the lemon loaf. They're a little more new to the market, but they're not necessarily new to Woodinville. Heritage restaurant,
Brie
people are pretty familiar with. But she has opened the bakery next door as well, so they're joining us a lot this season. And Julienne and Juliette is where the macarons come from. What's the fun story there is that last year the business was actually Le Pain by Julienne, He just did his bread, but he went into a partnership with Karen, and they have rebranded as Julian and Juliet. And so he brings the bread, she brings the macarons, they share a kitchen together,
Cool.
and it's just a really great little business. So.
That's super cool. All right, so I've had a chance to try the strawberries and the tayberry.
You had a
Troy,
tayberry?
I
You're
had a
skipping ahead.
They were there. So, all right, Troy. I'm excited.
I know.
All right, so tell us what you
I'm
think.
savoring the strawberry because oftentimes we get strawberries from the grocery store. I take them home and eat them, of course, but they just don't. They're just lacking like flavor.
They're disappointing, aren't
They're
they?
disappointing.
These are
They
not.
are. It tastes like water.
Yeah.
Anyway, these are not. These have a very distinct strawberry flavor.
Yeah, this reminds me of Wimbledon.
Y-
Not that I've ever been to Wimbledon, but that evokes that kind of feeling of strawberries and cream
Ah, yeah.
on the grass.
I want to stick it in the cream.
I mean, yes,
Well,
that's
try it. Tell us what you think. Stick
Okay.
the strawberry in the, and you said that was pistachio kefir yogurt.
kefir yogurt.
Yeah,
Yep.
kefir yogurt. Okay.
So yeah, actually the chef demo that happened on the 14th, she mixed something up where she had some berries and some of the yogurt and some of the bread from Julian, and so they were good.
That's
Very
really
good
good.
partnership.
Okay, so like Troy said, the strawberries delicious. You can imagine those being plucked straight off the plant. No, nothing else needed with it, but you can add some cream to it if
Right.
you want that kind of traditional. But dipped in the yogurt is delicious too. That's a great kind of breakfast food. That with maybe some granola over the top of it. Right, have you tried the tayberry yet?
No, I didn't.
Okay, get on with it. Come on. Now, what I would say about the tayberry while he's savouring that is it feels, you said it's a cross between a blackberry and a raspberry. It has a little bit of that tartness of a raspberry, kind of almost lemony. But the density of it is where the blackberry comes in for me when I'm
Right.
trying to, it's a little bit firmer than a raspberry would normally
Right.
be.
Right, raspberries
you
are a
think?
little soft and squishy. This is
Yeah.
not. Yeah, I can't tell what it tastes like. Is it a blackberry or is it a raspberry?
Yeah.
It's got the tartness, like you said. Yeah.
But it's like if you hold it in your mouth, I feel bad because I can hear myself in the mic.
Chomping away.
Chomping away, exactly. But when you hold it in your mouth and you let it kind of the berry explode on your tongue, there's just all these different complexities of that piece of fruit. Really good. Do I need to do any more work? Can we just sit here and eat? All right, so that's the strawberries and the tayberries. Let's go on to the...
That's worth coming to the market for, right there.
Just that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. It feels like childhood. Summer childhood. That's what I'm getting from that. Brilliant.
There's definitely we have a Power of Produce Club where the kids can get $2 tokens at the kids tent and use them for $2 worth of produce at
Oh, that's cool.
any of the tents where it might have had dirt on it. That's how we always explain it. We want them to recognize that this is something that was grown and came out of the ground.
Right.
And berries are definitely one of the favorites of the
Okay.
kids.
Yeah, yeah. I can see that.
All right, let's switch to the yogurt next. You tried it, Troy? Or you dubbed
I
it?
tried it with the strawberry, yeah.
on its own.
Yeah.
Super thick.
Mm-hmm.
And I was expecting it to be a little runnier because when I think of this style of yogurt, you buy it from the grocery store.
It's
it
like
feels
fluffy.
It is fluffy. It's a bit like cream, but I was expecting runny kind of liquid yogurt. This is just very decadent,
Yeah.
and that little hint of the pistachio as you kind of chew through it, divine.
Yeah, the first time I had this, I thought heavenly.
Heavenly, yeah.
Yeah, really, really good.
It's decadent for sure.
It is really decadent. I'm almost scared to eat it all, but I'm going to. Throughout the show, when I'm not talking, I will be dipping my spoon in that. All right. So next up, then we have the macarons or the lemon loaf. What are you going to go with, Troy?
I'll go with a lemon loaf.
I say, and I had the lemon loaf with the berries as well.
You did.
And I picked the lemon loaf because we just had summer solstice, so it just felt like a sunny thing to share.
I think the thing with the lemon loaf is you can have it year round. It's
Yeah.
one of my favourite things. A good lemon loaf with a, dare I say, cup of tea.
Always.
All right. So Troy is taking some of that, and we love heritage tart. So I'm
Yeah.
expecting great things from this. I know it's going to be good. So
It is good.
Troy is just still eating. You just want me to just keep talking.
Talk, yeah. Feel the dead air, Pamela.
All right. What do you think, Troy?
So I like the icing on the top. It's not too sweet, but it's just gives it that sweetness over the tart of the lemon.
I appreciate that it can be really easy to overdue lemon, and this
Yeah.
is just a
Yeah.
really
Oh, it's
good
very, very
natural.
Yeah, it is. The loaf is, sometimes you can get a loaf, a lemon loaf or a pound loaf or whatever you're looking for. And it can be quite squishy. And I like the kind of density of this because it feels like it could be a bread, but it's not. It has that cake feel to it, but it's not, it doesn't disintegrate in your fingers when you pull it apart. And it's got a hint of the lemon through the actual loaf, and then you've got that delicious icing on top. I would always pick a lemon loaf. Okay,
All right.
I'm talking with my mouth full. Sorry, people. All right.
So you got the blingy macaroon,
I got the blingy macaroon, which I believe.
which is what?
Passion fruit.
Passion fruit.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we do that.
I've got the elder flower.
Elderflower, yes.
I want to say elderberry. I don't know why. I
Hang on,
always
there's
say
a little.
elderberry.
Because of Monty Python.
There's some,
I mean,
Right.
honestly.
Right.
do you have a bit of bling on the top of that one too?
I do. It looks like a little.
Gold leaf.
Yeah, like a little bit of gold, something or other, and it's drizzled with something else on top here, with just very lightly, like a little scratch across the top.
Very good. It's very
cool.
pretty.
Yes, it is.
And which one did you get, Tori?
Chocolate.
Okay. All right. Who's going first? Who's trying it? They're almost too pretty to eat.
I
do you
know.
what
I
mean?
was like,
I know macarons make great gifts. So even if you're around the farmers market, you pick up some for yourself and pick up some for a housewarming gift, or you go into a summer barbecue.
Yeah.
And they're great little housewarming presents. Or just
And
just
she always has, you can get them individually, or these
the six
boxes
pack.
of 6. And so she has 6 different flavors. I think there's usually a couple that are pretty consistent, but she had like a white chocolate raspberry the other day that was actually made with raspberries from the market.
Oh,
So,
fun.
yeah, she plays with the different flavors and the seasons, and they're just delicious.
they're really good.
They're
Sorry.
done. Those are done really well, and the presentation is good too. The filling inside is variegated. I don't know the proper term for it, but it's very pretty.
It's very pretty. They're well constructed. They're well made. They have some substance to them too. Sometimes you get macarons and they're a little bit flat. These definitely have that the kind of puff that you expect with a really great macaron. But the flavors, the filling and the actual macaron, you can taste the difference between the two, and it's just really, really
For
good.
sure.
Wow. I don't think I want to do anything else today. I just want to sit and eat.
Okay.
But we can't. We've got a whole show to do.
We
And
do. We
Joy
gotta-
came in with lots of answers to our questions about the farmers market. So we are going to continue to nibble as discreetly as we can during the show on this food. Well, I am. I don't know. But we're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into all things farmers market with Tori, kind of like the inspiration behind certain things, and just a plethora of knowledge for those who frequent the market and maybe don't know a few things, and those who've never been who really should get themselves down to either the Woodinville or Kenmore market. So
Yep,
we're
for
going to
sure.
take a really quick break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into it. So stay tuned.
Welcome back to TLC 10 Life Community Podcast, and we are going to dive into all things farmers markets with Torrey Edwards. So Torrey, you play such a vital role in bringing the Northwest farmers markets to life. How did you first get involved with the organization? What drew you to this type of work? And, what keeps you passionate week after week?
Well, gosh, I've been going to farmers markets most of my life. Before we moved to Woodinville, lived in Belltown, and so Pike Place Market was actually where we did our grocery shopping. And
That's fun.
just really loved all the fresh connection. And as I was living in Woodinville, it actually kind of was a fluke that I got involved with the farmers market, though, a little bit, because I don't have a farming background. I don't have, some of that other experience, but a lot of farmers markets are organized in different ways, and at the time ours happened to be a board that was only made up of vendors, and so in order to be on the board and help run the show, you had to be a vendor there at the market. And in 2018 it was actually kind of small. We'd had to move, and but I was there as a vendor because I was actually on the board of the Woodinville Arts Alliance.
Okay.
And
Yep.
familiar with that. So we had a booth to have some of our members sell art every once in a while, and they were actually hitting a point where there was time to do elections, and no one was stepping up to take over the president role, and so it was
Okay.
going to have to shut down. And I didn't want to see that happen. So
No.
so out of nothing, I was like, well, I'll just step in the president
I'll
role.
just do that on
Yeah.
my, Okay.
I mean, I come from some, background in my life of event services and just, some organizing. So there was something. But anyway, so took that on in 2019, and it's just been kind of a crazy roller coaster ride, a steep learning curve, understanding this very unique niche sort of area of work that is a farmer's market. It is not quite like anything else. One of our first things I tried to do was move it to not being just vendors on the board. I wanted to kind of open it up to other people in the community. We have sponsors, we work with the city, we get grants, we have community booths, and there's lots of people out there who care a lot about the farmers market, like me. Like I said, I used to want to go all the time. And our vendors, understandably, are running little small businesses on farms that they don't always have a lot of time to run the governing part of it. So,
Right.
so yeah.
Very good. It's interesting you said that you moved a few times, because I've been in Woodinville for 20 years, and it used to be the Torrey Edwards place down there, and then it moved somewhere else, and now it's moved again.
Yeah, in my memory, it was in the street in front of City Hall and the Torrey Edwards Center. It was in DeYoung Park. Then it moved 2018 to the church parking lot because they were redoing DeYoung Park. Then we moved back to DeYoung Park, and then COVID happened, and so that was there was 1 year where
We don't say
it
COVID.
was, and then the schoolhouse district was built with actually some intention of moving the market there, and so now we've been there. I think so 22, 23, 24 now, 25. So.
Wow. I think it's a great spot, and you do such a fantastic job of organizing that. I know you have help, but we do events, and there's a lot that goes in. There's all these little details, and I imagine dealing with all those vendors is, just a...
I know, I'm sure people think that the farmer's market just pops up out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
it just all comes together. Everyone shows up.
Somebody
and it's
waves
just,
a wand, and here we go.
So, let's take our listeners there. What does a Saturday or when in Woodinville look like, or a Wednesday in Kenmore?
Well, again, these are kind of unique spaces. Every market has to sort of find where they can go, since it's not a brick and mortar. It's and so in Kenmore and Woodinville, we happen to be located sort of in active downtown central places already. So that's really nice. It has some challenges too, but it's generally great. So families can come and have multiple things to do, and it really just, I think, adds to the community feel. Makes it almost an outdoor community center. A lot of us on the board really feel that way about it, that's kind of the core, the heart of what we're doing there, is just building community. And so you come and you have, farmers and crafters, and our sort of motto, everything there is homegrown or handmade.
Okay.
So you can come and enjoy that. There's live music, there's food trucks, so you could spend 10 minutes there if you just want to run real fast and get your groceries, or you could spend the entire time there. It's always amazing me to see all the people who meet each other and hug, and it's like one of the kind of central places people will run into each other in town, and we like all that.
I think the demographic down there is probably pretty diverse too. I know my daughter, before she moved out of town, she was like, on Saturdays, right, I'm going to the farmer's market to check out the food trucks and see what's there, so it's not just for kind of our generation. I think the farmer's market is for everybody, even if they don't realise it yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really do try to have something for everyone and to be a completely welcoming space.
Mm-hmm. I know I try to make it down every Saturday that I can when I'm in town, for sure.
I must admit I haven't been this year, but I'm going. I'm going.
We've got we got fresh fish there. We've got other stuff. I met one of the organic growers there, and actually we get vegetables from him every week now through his CSA program.
Oh, that's
And
fantastic.
we're trying all kinds of new stuff, and it's fun.
That's one of the things I like about the market, like with the tayberries, when you have just this little local farmer, they can kind of branch out and do the things that you don't normally see in the grocery stores. So I think like Blue Glass Farms last year had
That's who it is.
6 different varieties of beets or something.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we've had his beets. They're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that because it not forces you, but it encourages you to try something different. That you know, you go to the grocery store and you've got your list and you pick up the same old, and you're like, oh, that looks interesting, but no, I think I'll miss it. But when you go to a market, you feel inspired to try something different and try, you know, cooking a different way. Which brings me on to our next question. Is so you guys. People may or may not know this, but last year you launched cooking demos, which is, you know, it's really kind of a newer feature. We found out about it from Dave
Yeah.
Woodinville Sauce Guy, when he was on the show. He was talking about that because he was kind of involved in that, and it piqued our interest. Like, this is super exciting. So you've launched this, and people are using fresh ingredients from the market for these demos, right? What inspired the idea to launch this, and how has it evolved from last year to this year, and how has the community really responded to that? And, you know, what have been the challenges, and how has it kind of moved its way along?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's super fun to watch, and
Yeah.
maybe nerve-wracking for the people who cook it.
I was going to say, Dave was more than just kind of involved. It was definitely his sort of passion project. He comes from being a chef and then also a, you know, entertaining musician. And so he definitely was like, you know, cooking, but fun.
He's a fun guy.
So, yeah, it's been really amazing. Last year was definitely, you know, the pilot program. If anything, is going to have some bumps and whatever. But, you know, we took one of the recipes that came out of that and put it on our cards so that we can give people our information, but then also show them one of the cool things we do. And people always just really respond to that idea of like, oh, you know, this is something where someone just, like I said, it's not, oh, I cooked something where I happen to have an ingredient. Like, the only thing they cook is what they get there. I mean, we have like olive oil and some other things, you know,
Right.
to help, but
Sure.
but they have to come up with an entire dish just based on what's at the market that day.
Oh, so that day, so they don't even get to prep. This is like, okay, they have to go and source a
They have to
couple
go
of things.
shop that
Yep.
day.
Oh,
Yep.
I love that.
Yeah, that's so
That
cool.
frightens me no end, but I think it's
That
brilliant.
sounds like an HGTV or Food Network show.
It does.
It's great, and yeah, people
Farmers
love
Market Frenzy.
watching them, and we
I
give
like
out
that.
samples at the end so
Yeah.
everybody can taste it.
So who's involved in doing those demos? I'm assuming like Dave would be somebody that would be cooking there. How do you pick who's doing that or who volunteers?
Yeah, so he's got his network of chef friends and some of the other people who we might know because they buy produce from our farmers or whatever. So we all work on our connections to see.
I think Chef Bree was down there once.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's slated for this
Is she?
season as
Okay.
well.
Yeah.
And one of the chefs who's coming is also had a food truck with us last season, you know, so there's, like I said, those connections there. And Dave just finds everybody, figures out who has time, and when it works for him, there definitely needs to be some extra hands around to help with dishes and setup, and we've got, you know, induction burners, and like it's a thing.
Now, does that happen every Saturday?
No,
Okay.
just a few through the season.
Okay.
Because, like I said, it is
There's a lot of work.
It's a bit more of a lift.
Okay.
And
Any favourite moments or surprising dishes, whether that was last year when you were teething or this year so far?
so I was going to say, when I saw this question, I was so aghast that I realized I couldn't answer it because I have not been able to actually eat any of it myself. We have staff who actually runs the market, and I'm usually kind of just there in the morning sometimes to like make sure they, you know, drop something off or whatever, or do my own shopping, and so I end up not being there in the afternoon for whatever reasons on the few chef days we had some. But we have more of them this season, so I have higher chances of making sure it happens. Just
Any stories though that people have said that was like phenomenal or?
Not that I've had the direct feedback. I feel like that's...
You did?
I was there when Dave was there. I didn't see him actually prepare it, but I came afterwards, and he had some meat with his sauces, and that was fantastic.
I'd be surprised if it
Yeah,
wasn't.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great. So do you remember what it was?
I don't.
No. Put you on the spot for a
I'm
change.
sorry. We said we weren't going to ask any hard questions.
That's a
Sorry
hard
about
question.
Well, I'm hoping that we can actually collect and maybe even create like a recipe book from all of these.
I
so
like
then
the
you can
recipe
look
card
back,
thing because,
yeah.
I mean, in my business, real estate, people lack vision, when they walk into a house and they see that it's bright yellow and they're like, oh, I can't buy this house because it's yellow. It's like, well, paint fixes that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But whereas ingredients by themselves, people might not, understand how those go together. But when you have a recipe, that's when the art takes place,
Mhm.
right? So I think that's great.
I think it's great also too. I mean, you can use the recipe, but you can throw in a little bit
Yeah,
of
you
flair
can
too.
you can do your own thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay.
So farmers markets are growing in popularity, but the North Shore Farmers Market really stands out. In your view, what sets your market apart from others in the region? Is it the vendors or?
I mean, it's a vendors, vibes, values, all of these. I mean, I'm genuinely curious if there's another market in the region that can say it has farms so close as we
Right.
do. So the one we mentioned earlier, Blue Glass, they're just behind 21 acres. You can walk there from the market. It's like only about a mile away. Even when they come with us to Kenmore, it's only like 6 miles away. So just strolling a market in the heart of a downtown and then accessing produce that's that fresh is just, I mean, phenomenal. Like, I just, that seems really special to me.
It tastes different too. It really does.
So I think that's one of the things that kind of seems to set us apart a bit. I think we have those good vibes, and I just can't say enough good about our staff for that. That's a lot of where that comes from. We have 2 market managers, Catherine and Annie. They're a dynamic duo. Catherine actually has her own farm as well. She can't sell at ours because that'd be kind of conflict of interest, but she sells in Snohomish. And she also has a great ability to command a chaotic moment, which you need in order to be. And then we also have Annie, has a master's in public health and nutrition sciences and does a mean spreadsheet. She's such an asset in that area. They both just bring such attention and commitment, and I just feel like the vendors feel that, and the community can feel that. You might not like see it explicitly and be able to point to that and say, but there's, like I said, the vibes. And it
It's all
comes
the background stuff that goes on that nobody sees that actually makes it what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I love that though about the the farms being so close, because
Yeah.
it's a good point that you make though. How many farmers markets have you been to where they're coming in from Skagit Valley, or they're coming in from Bellingham or wherever? Yeah.
And to be clear, we have those as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love our mix. I just think we are working really hard to try and have a really well-rounded market where like I said, we've got new vendors, old vendors. We've got people right there a mile away, but we also have some people from over the mountains so that we can get that sort of right.
Well, I like that they all come together at the market, but then I have really enjoyed the aspect of being able to get produce midweek too, and it's right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Now we have that option. Now
Yeah.
that we can go to Saturdays at Woodinville,
yeah.
trickle over to Kenmore on Wednesdays, because
Wednesday,
it's
yeah.
Greater Woodinville, as Troy likes to say.
Greater Woodinville quotes. Air quotes.
So I should imagine that you work fairly closely with the farmers and the vendors. You can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But what have you learned from their stories, and how do you see those direct customer relationships shape the way with the way you support the farmers, and therein then makes that connection with the customers?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, we do actually have staff. When I first came on, we were sort of an operational board, and we're moving toward more of a governing board and actually trying to have that staff that's there. And so they've really taken on those relationships with the vendors, but I still, have some of those connections. I still am part of all that process. I'll come in on a Saturday and try to come walk through and chat with everybody. Sometimes I'll start at one end at 10 and not make it to the other end by 2.
I think that's a good sign.
Yeah,
don't you?
yeah, I do.
But in 2023, when I came back, I don't think I mentioned, but I was president in 2019, and then I moved to Scotland for a bit and came back, and so I became president
Just
again.
moved to Scotland for a minute.
Just on a whim.
But I was actually running our social media at that time as well, and just the gratitude from the vendors about knowing that we're promoting them, not just setting up the space, but also really trying to get the word out there about them, really struck me, you know. And I also remember one time I took a picture of a bridal party that came through the market and all their like,
fun.
you know, sashes and whatever. And I was just like, oh yes, we're making it. Like we're, you know, we're really a thing. And, you know, the repeat customers that come in and the vendors can greet them by name is such a, you know, just really like, oh yeah, this is such a great place to be. And I just, think it's really helpful for the vendors to have that location to really be able to not just, you know the names of the people who come, but have conversations with them. So like, not only is it good for the customer to say, oh, how should I cook this, you know,
Right.
and they will give them all sorts of suggestions, but then the vendors can hear from the other direction as well and say, oh, did you actually like this cookie, you know, did you, or is my name working? Like we've had a couple of vendors change names as they're with us. Like we've sort of become this little like testing laboratory for them to understand what works best for their products.
Yeah. I get that was kind of part of the question I was going to ask was, you know, when these customers come back time and time again, you know, how do you think that influences what the vendors grow on their farms or that they're producing? And you just said that, you know, anything from changing names, but do you think it has how much of an impact do you think that has on the vendors?
I mean, I would imagine quite a lot. You know, I mean, there's going to be factors beyond their control where their farm is, what you know they have time for our location. I mean, part of the fresh local is that it's, you know, we don't do oranges necessarily. so you know, people might show up and be like, where are my oranges? But
It's Washington.
I keep waiting for the blueberries. I'm wanting some blueberries.
yeah, they'll come.
They're coming.
Yep.
They're
I
just
know.
not
I
in
felt like
season.
we got the strawberries early this
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
That was nice to see, and it just depends from year to year.
I know we should really keep a track of like when it's supposed to be so that you can, the anticipation builds. Yeah.
Yeah. So people see the tents, the live music, the vibrant energy, but there's so much more work behind the scenes. We kind of alluded to this. Can you give us a peek of what it takes to put the market on?
Right.
Day of happenings, please.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I mean, the problem is whenever, you know, I can start with the day, but like you have to start at the beginning, which is, you know, to exist, we need to have a board, we need to have an organization. So maybe it's not the most exciting part, but like I think it's great. That's where I like living. But and I just want people to realize that it is this whole team of people behind the market. We're lucky to have a stellar group of super passionate people on our board over the years with various skills and talents, and they help shape a great market. Then we also have to figure out where to hold the market, which takes permits, licenses from city, county, state, federal level. We have to show up then, and even though we're welcoming the vendors, we have our own gear to set up. We've got our info booth. We've got to put up the music tent, kids tent, etc. So that takes staff, and we have to do that twice a week now this year. So that's a new adventure. And then even inviting the vendors is a whole process. You know, we have to open applications in January in order to start our markets in May and June. So I don't think people realize like how far in advance we actually get this planning going, because we have to make sure they're licensed and insured before we can approve them. We need to find that good balance for the market, figure out how it works in the space we have, which dates they want. It's just this huge logic puzzle. So
Not for the faint-hearted, I don't think.
it is. Yeah, quite a lot of moving parts. And then on the day of, our team is there, you know, about 2 hours before to 2 hours after. So it's a full day. But even once we open at 10, they don't get to sit down. The vendors are in place, but they have to make sure the weights are on everybody's tents. We've had tents blow over before.
yeah.
There's a little breeze.
no.
They need to make sure that all the, you know, food temperatures are correct, et cetera, because we want to, again, make sure everyone's safe and happy and having a good time, all that stuff that happens in the background. And then do all the programming, like the chef's demo and the music in the kids' tent. They're also in the info booth helping with food access programs. So we do SNAP, and they have to process that at the info booth. And just answer questions. And then there's always something that comes up. So maybe the trash needs taking out, or something.
Who's going to do that?
Something broke, or, so yeah, they're running the whole time.
Right.
lots of steps on the pedometer.
Well, when you walk into something like that and it feels like it took nothing to put it together, that means your staff behind the scenes have done an amazing job putting it together, and it's not been just thrown in and no thought given to it. So
I've been to events where it just seems like it's willy-nilly, and this is very well organized. Everything's set up on purpose, and it's I can see that. Other people probably just come in, and it's just a great experience.
Yeah.
So.
I love that. All right, so the market has become a launch pad for small businesses, right? Over the years, whether that's in the past or more recently, but small businesses, emerging makers, do you have any favourite stories of vendors who found their footing or grew their business through the Woodinville Farmers Market or Northshore Markets as a whole?
Yeah.
We'll lump Kenmore in there, but it's kind of new to the umbrella, so probably more of a focus on Woodinville. But
yeah, because with Kenmore, the city started it in 22, and we're only just taking it over this season, so it's newish to begin with, and then also very new to us. But we're actually excited about. Sorry, I'm kind of tangenting here, but I'll come back.
So Kenmore ran it in 22?
22, they opened it up.
Okay, gotcha.
And so they asked us to come take it over. And so we're operating them both. And I think it's great because we actually have a bunch of overlap vendors now this time. And having two markets run the same way, like I said, every market kind of operates a different way. And so it can be a lot for the vendors to have to figure out, like, oh, when do my payments have to go into which place, and what is the application process, whatever. So we're hoping to kind of make that a little easier on the vendors.
Streamlined, yeah.
It's one of the things, But as far as vendors kind of coming up and growing through our markets, my quick shout out, I meant to preface this entire thing by saying we have like 100 vendor roster or something, so there's no way I'm going to touch on everybody, and it always makes me feel bad. I want to be able to be like, I need to tell you this awesome thing about this people, these people. But so I still will call someone up by name. Creamy Crow, so they do Portuguese tarts. And I came back from Scotland loving them because the place across the street from our flat sold them, and they were delicious. And so I was like, oh,
I don't think I've ever had one.
Portuguese
I'm going to have to try
tart
it.
Yeah.
in Scotland.
it's an international. Yeah. So I came back, and she was having a pop-up at 21 Acres because they have a kitchen there that people can use to start their businesses. Again, all the resourcing for those on-ramps for people. But and so I just begged her to come to the market because I was like, please, you got to bring these to us. And she would have a line every single week.
Oh, really?
She would sell out like halfway through the market because, she only had so much capacity. And so she has, with that success, kind of moved on from us. So she is unfortunately not there this season, but
Where's her shop?
So I think she's actually got a place that she's working out of in Ballard, I want to say now. But yeah, if you go to her website.
Okay.
But yeah, so there's some bittersweetness there. We do have some vendors that the market is just the right place for them to be, and that is they're not trying to launch at anywhere else. But some people were like I said, kind of a space to
they're testing the market, and clearly it works. I'm sure she's not the only one, but that's the one that stuck out for you because it's linked to your stay in Scotland. I like that.
We're trying to actually work on, like I said, with collecting the recipes, collecting these stories. It's really exciting to me to hear, and so hopefully we'll have more to say on that.
I like it. So with the two markets being under the North Shore umbrella, do you feel like each one, Woodinville and Kenmore, has its own personality or flavour? And how would you describe the vibe or energy of each of those communities? Because I'm sure they're very different, because as cities they're very different too.
I mean, there's the sort of obvious that Woodinville is a midday on a weekend, and then Kenmore is on an evening in the middle of the week, so you're going to get kind of a different feel from those. And also Kenmore is being a little bit smaller and a little bit newer. So I would say I think of Kenmore as kind of like more intimate and leisurely, and Woodinville is maybe a bit more active and energetic. It helps that the soccer fields are right there. So.
Yeah, there's always something going on, it seems like.
But I think Kenmore's really settling into itself and being established, and so that feels really good. You're like, oh yeah, this is a market, like it's here now. Mm-hmm. And then I think Woodinville, we're kind of on the sort of other end of that, where we're really becoming like a destination. So we've been there long enough now that we've been established, and now we're really kind of hitting our stride and finding our groove.
I like that. We need more kind of adjacent things, and I think the farmers market fits that bill nicely.
Oh, for sure.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%.
But if a few more of those want to become a little bit more, like static, that would be great. Yeah. We're always talking about adjacent businesses for the wine industry.
Right.
I think the farmers market works well with that.
It's a good reason to come to Woodinville on a Saturday, for sure.
Yeah.
Go to the farmers market, get lunch, go do some wine tasting.
There's just some great music. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
some of the people we've had come through are just phenomenal.
It's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So, what's next for the markets, Woodinville and Kenmore? Anything new on the horizon?
Well, like I said, we've moved around a lot lately. We've been able to be in this space for Woodinville for a bit now. We're only just taking over Kenmore. We're right in the middle of the season, so there's a little bit of the group kind of taking a breath and
No more.
Don't want to try anything new.
And really just invest in those great things we've already got going. Like I feel like we've done a lot of work of like figuring out what we want the market to be, and we want to really just stay there for a minute and be like, let's make sure we've got this really locked in and looking good. And
There's always time for
Consistency
new
is
things.
key.
Consistency?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you say that all the time.
I know. It's boring, though.
It's not boring. I think it's
Well, I mean, most successful things are just rinse and repeat.
yeah. And then you get to that point where you're like, okay, now you can step into something new and add the consistency with that. So like you did with the demos, maybe next year there'll be something new.
Maybe.
I mean, I think consistency, and also the one that we're kind of focusing on is continuity. So, like I said, keeping in the same location for Woodinville for a
Sure.
while, and hopefully having board members that can stick around for a bit, and really the managers who we've actually had there for a couple of years now. It's actually usually a high turnover position. In most of the markets, like I'll go to conferences and they'll be like, I've been a manager for 8 years, and everybody's like, oh my gosh. So the fact that we've had our people for a few years now, I think is pretty awesome, and so hoping to keep that going.
I like it.
It's good. So more good stuff. That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Yeah, good all the way.
Yep.
What's something at the market that that people often overlook but really shouldn't? Maybe a vendor, a product, a quiet moment, or a tradition.
I think as far as like what's overlooked, just coming regularly, which sounds, I think people will be like, oh, I came to the market and now I know it's there. But like I said, even the same vendor can be there and their offerings are going to be different. But then we also do rotate through some of our vendors. I don't know that everyone realizes that, that each week you show up is not going to be all the same people. So really making a thing of it is something that some people miss. And I would also just say coming prepared, because, you're buying sometimes a lot more than you realize.
In your reusable
Saying
grocery
bring in
sacks.
bags.
Yeah, so I come with my wagon. And I just
She's serious about it.
well, when you've got your flat of berries and
Yeah,
your flowers, and you buy a candle, and the carrots and the lettuce. And anyway, it can all add up. And now we've got a lot more meat and fish. You mentioned the fish earlier coming in, so bring your cooler so that you don't think, oh well, I can't buy it because we're gonna go do something else next. Well,
Right.
come prepared, and then you can take full advantage of all the amazingness.
I like it. I like it a lot. I feel like
Right.
I've missed out because I haven't been this year.
What's the matter with you?
Well, I was out of town.
Yeah,
Or out of the
that's
I was
right.
out of the
That's
country.
You
But
were
I-
in Scotland.
no excuse.
It's no excuse, yeah. I will go, I promise. I mean, after everything that we've tasted today, I'm like, why would you not go to the farmer's market? I mean,
Yeah.
it's so fresh. It's so flavorful, and just, everything. The flowers, just the vibrancy of everything that you put on a plate for us today. Why would you not want that in your own home?
Well, and I was gonna say, actually, we talked about everything that I brought to eat, but I'm also wearing a shirt that's one of our vendors, and my earrings.
I
are
love that
from
you
Oh,
have,
cool.
that's
one of our
Wonder
vendors.
Woman, right?
So you can like outfit yourself and your home, even not just your plate.
I love that you're wearing a very unique T-shirt. And
Yeah.
and so that was from the farmer's market.
Yeah, this is Second Stitch. She specifically takes clothing that is otherwise maybe not usable and cuts it and puts it back together. So
Oh,
it's
that
a
is a
custom
great-
piece. Yeah.
So
that's a great use.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay.
I love
now,
that.
is that vendor at the market every week, or is that?
No, she's not every week. So
You can give me the timetable when you're done.
Well, that's where if you are on our website or our socials, I'll put this shout out there.
Mm-hmm.
So every week we post who's going to be there,
Have a
so that
vendor
you
list.
can
Perfect.
check it out.
That's great. Well, at the end, after we'll get all of those details so that they're stuck fresh in people's minds about where they can find out more information.
All right. Well, I think we're rounding the show out in this segment anyway, and we always like to ask our guests what's a local hidden gem that you might want to share with our listeners.
So I say this about the vendors too. I'm like, it's like asking me for a favorite
I know,
child.
I know.
So I'm gonna do just like the quick off the top of my head shout outs. 21 Acres. I feel like people still don't know they're there. You know, they're like our cousin. I don't know. But so they have a great farm market as well. So definitely check them out. Learn more about what they're doing there. It's a pretty amazing space. Sir Lonebuck's House of Comics and Geekery, I feel like, is another one that people don't
never
know
heard of that.
exists. See? They're in the complex with Woodinville Cafe and the same stretch that the bagel.
Oh, yeah.
We have
Yeah.
heard about them once.
Over by Value Village.
Yes, but they're on the, as you drive in, they're on the left-hand side.
Have we heard about that?
Once, yes.
Really?
One of the, I can't remember who it was. It might have been.
What's it called again?
Sir Lonebuck's House
Sir
of Comics and
Lonebuck.
Geekery.
Oh,
So
cool.
they
It
helped
might have
us.
been Bonnie that mentioned it. Who knows? Anyway, it doesn't matter. But yes.
But we had a story contest to launch our blog with the kids, and they gave us the prize for that. So that's,
Oh, cool.
they're a community partner.
Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
And then the other ones I have to shout out are Rain Brew is a new Korean rice wine brewery that just opened up in that area, kind of by Molten Works, behind McClendon.
Oh, okay.
So they even were just spotlighted on King 5 the other day.
Really?
And Shirafuji Sake, they're amazingly sweet people. They're just lovely. And they're just over in here by you guys. And their brewery was originally in Japan in 1650. So it's like
Oh, wow.
Oh wow.
over a 300-year-old, tradition that they're carrying on.
Here in Woodinville.
Yeah.
Huh.
So
I had heard about the sake place
You
before.
had?
Yeah, I
Okay.
I didn't know there was one over by McClendon, so.
Okay.
And then the last one, I promise.
No.
Keep going. I'm like, I'm
She
making
came
a
prepared.
list for this weekend.
Woodinville Repertory Theater is doing dinner theater.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That they launched, and that is just such a great night out if you
Yep.
haven't had.
Yes, we had Heather on
Yeah.
a few months or so ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
And I've been to the dinner theater. It's good.
Yeah.
DeLille's,
So many fun things.
the restaurant there does a fantastic job with food.
So
Yeah.
delicious.
And the rep, no, they're not bad. They're awesome. It was a good show.
That's great. That's quite the list. There,
Yep.
for there to be, I mean, I've lived in Woodinville 20 odd years. You've been here a very long time. I mean, finding stuff that's new that we haven't heard of, I'm sure our listeners haven't heard of either. So
Right.
we appreciate that.
Yeah,
So,
thanks for sharing.
yeah. All right. Well, that was great. My tummy's full.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. I still have a little bit of lemon loaf. And
Time
a
for
little
a
bit,
nap.
I know, my macaron left to eat. But we're going to take a really quick break. And when we come back, we're going to finish out with our real estate roundup.
Oh, okay.
And then when we come back from that, we'll get all of the details on the farmers market location, websites, Instagram, all of those fun things. But for right now,
Stay
here's the
tuned.
break. And Troy, get yourself ready for your question.
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. Welcome back to TLC, Tend Life Community Podcast. It's been a real community vibe today when we're talking about
Yes.
the farmers markets. We've had some delicious nibbles, fruits, and treats. I don't really want to do anything else, but that we'll get on with the real estate roundup bit.
All right,
'cause,
let's finish the show,
Let's
yeah.
finish it off, and then we can enjoy what's left on our plates. But always looking for something to talk about when it comes to real estate. And one thing that kind of popped into my mind was, this idea of the perfect home. people are always talking about, I want my perfect house, and it's got to be this, and it's
Your
got to be
forever
that.
house.
Your forever house, yeah. But, not every buyer really needs, these must-haves, do they? I mean, when we talk about this, what are the things that in a perfect world makes the home check every box? How much of it is realistic, and how much of it is just kind of a fanciful thought?
Yeah, and I don't know. I try and take people through the exercise of list 5 things that are must-haves in your house, and then let's take 2 of those away, and then that's going to be what when you're making decisions. You can't always have everything. Even people who have bought land, tearing it up in here, bought land and built their own house, designed it. It looks when you get that design from paper to actual built, they're like, oh, I wish I would have done this, or I wish I would have done that. So
Yeah.
it's tough to find the perfect house for sure.
Right. What are some of those overrated buyer must-haves, and what should you actually focus on to build a long-term value and still love where you live?
Well, I mean, everyone likes an open concept, but what you actually need is just a functional flow that fits your lifestyle, and sometimes walls can be moved or replaced. Oftentimes they can, and you could do that maybe in the future when you decide you need new flooring or whatever. You can come in and take that wall out or make the opening bigger. So
Can I just give a caveat to that? Don't just take a sledgehammer to a wall. Make sure it's not load-bearing first.
always check first. Yes. I know.
Just in case anybody says, well, Troy said.
We've remodeled a lot of houses in like the 70s split levels. Those kitchens are often walled off, and people, when they want to open that up, and oftentimes you need to add a post and to like a
I must admit,
kitchen
I
island or
like
something.
the idea of a kitchen being a little more. I know the kitchen's the heart of the home, but sometimes when you're cooking smelly food, you kind of want to shut the door.
Yeah, I mean that's what
Lifestyle.
Yeah, lifestyle. You need to find something for your lifestyle. So open concept, everything is might not. If you want open concept in the future, you can do that, but I wouldn't let it be a stumbling block
Okay,
if it
next.
functions for you. Well, a huge backyard. Lots of people want space, and so
But then you have to take care of it.
then you have
Precisely.
to take care of it, and that can be a challenge too, especially if you go on vacation. You're gonna have to figure out who's gonna take care of the yard while you're gone, for an extended amount of time or whatever.
Yeah, it might seem like a good idea that you've got space to play cricket, but then you've got to mow it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right, so the backyard, not necessarily a must-have, just figure out how you're going to use that space, right?
Yeah, if you want space, oftentimes people say they want a big yard or a large lot. It's really what they're after is privacy. So, it depends on how the house is oriented on the lot. It's going to give you more privacy on a smaller lot with a smaller yard potentially. What it backs up to as well. It could back up to a green space that could never be built on, and so you've got all the tons of privacy, but you don't have to pay for it.
Yeah. You feel like you're in the wilderness with that verdant backdrop, but you don't have to mow it.
Verdant. I like
Verdant.
that, yeah.
That's my word of the day.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Fully renovated home with trendy finishes. Everyone 10, 15 years ago was, I got to have granite countertops, and now we're ripping granite countertops out and sticking some other kind of stone in there. And so, that's not always, we see fashions or trends in real estate kind of cycle every 10 or 15 years. So, if you can get into a house and start building equity, I think that's way more important than buying a fully renovated home, because sometimes you can do that stuff in the future, and what is fully renovated now and trendy now, 10 or 15 years from now, is going to be outdated.
Yeah. So would you say then when somebody has this idea, what they really should be looking for then is somewhere that has solid systems, so where the heating, the plumbing, and all of those things are
Definitely.
up to scratch, as opposed to having all the mod cons, and smart layout of the room. That's more important than like all the bells and whistles.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure. Yeah.
I like that. All right. So basically, your dream home isn't about perfection. It's about potential, practicality, and a place that works for you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like I said, you got pick 5 things and then throw 2 of them out when you're making decisions.
Yeah. I like that. It's a bit like, jewellery. When you've got loads on, take a couple of pieces off before you walk out the door. As Coco Chanel said. All right. Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Troy.
Yeah.
Hopefully that helps a few people figure out that, perfection means something different to everybody, and,
And perfection's the enemy of done. So I just recommend people get into housing or get into the real estate game and start building equity now versus waiting for that perfect opportunity or the perfect house to come up.
All right. Somebody wants to have that conversation with you. How do they get hold of you?
10hometeam.com or 206-504-3660.
All right, Torrey. We want to find out more information about this market. We want to know, who the vendors are. So give us your website address, your handles for social media, and any other pertinent information you'd like to share with our listeners.
So we have Woodinvillefarmersmarket.com and KenmoreFarmersMarket.com will both take you to what is now NorthshoreFarmersMarkets.org and to each of the individual markets on there on our website. And then both of those we have Facebook and Instagram, and we're working on YouTube, maybe getting some of those chef demos actually up on there so you can see the videos, different kinds of things. So keep an eye out for them.
That's great, and we highly, highly recommend that you check them out. I'm going to be going. It's on my calendar to do that in the next week. Troy,
You've got 2 opportunities a week.
I do. Yeah, well, yeah, I do. I was going to say, I'm working, but that's not an excuse for Wednesdays either. So Saturday and Wednesday evenings, I can go check out one of the markets. So I'll definitely be there. I mean, the produce is just phenomenal.
It's worth it. It's worth it
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. All right. Well, that's all we have time for this week. Thank you very much for joining us. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to like and subscribe and share. And if you're watching on YouTube,
Ding the dinger.
all right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Till next time.